Since this video is on all continuous tenses, so we have present continuous tense, past continuous tense, and future continuous tense. So let's start with the first one, that is present continuous tense. Before that, just look at this picture, what this girl is doing. This girl is running. So action is going on. That means this action is continuous here. So let's start now. Present continuous tense, or we also call it present progressive tense. As you can see some examples, the birds are flying high, or the kids are playing in the park. Did you get any idea what is happening here? So we will discuss the uses of present continuous tense. So we use present continuous tense when something is happening at the exact moment of speech. Example, Jim is watching television at the moment. Then we use present continuous tense to describe an action that is taking place now but not at the exact moment of speech. Like John is working in London. So someone else is reporting it that John is working there. Then we use this tense to describe an event planned in the future. Example, I am taking my French class on Tuesday. So this tense tells us about coming actions too. Next, to describe a temporary situation. Example, I am staying with a friend for a few days. Next, we use this tense when we have to emphasize the frequency of an action. That means we have to tell that how many times an action is taking place. Like that child is always crying for no good reason. Or we use this tense to describe changing situations. Example, her health is improving by leaps and bounds. So now we'll talk about the sentence structure. So first of all, you must know about the helping verbs. So in this tense, we have three helping verbs. First is, that is used with a singular noun or with pronouns like he, she, or it. The next is am. Am is used only with I pronoun. The next is are. Are we use with a plural noun or with the pronouns like we, you, and they. Next, main verb. In present continuous tense, or in fact in all continuous tenses, we use first form of the verb and then we add ing in it. So these main verbs would become reading, writing, listening, receiving, believing, etc. Now we will talk about the sentence structure and the four styles, which are affirmative style, negative style, interrogative style, and interrogative negative style. So to make a sentence in affirmative style, you have to use first subject, then is, am, are. Seeing the subject, you will choose one of these. After this, first form of the verb, ing, and object. So, example is I am reading a book. I is subject, am is helping verb, read plus ing, reading, and then a book is object. Now, negative style. So, for this, we will use subject first, then is, am, are, then not, then first form plus ing, an object. Example, we are not cooking food now. The next, interrogative style, where you will ask question. So first is, am, are, which are helping verbs, then subject, then first form of the verb, ing, and object. So example would be, is she writing a letter? And last, interrogative negative style. For this, we will use helping verbs at first, is, am, and are. After that, subject, then not, then first form of the verb, add ing and then object. So example would be, are they not coming today? So these were the styles of present continuous tense. Now let's have a look at past continuous tense, or we also call it past progressive tense. See the example. I was watching TV when she called. That means this action took place at a certain point of time in past, and that time this action was just going on. So this girl is saying, when I was called by someone, I was watching TV. So what action she was doing that time in past? She was watching TV. So now we'll see when to use. We can read this. The past continuous tense is used to describe actions that began in the past and often continued for a short period of time after the action started. So in this tense we have two helping verbs. First is was and second is were. Was we use with all singular nouns and were we use with all plural nouns. Then with was we can use pronouns like I, he, she, and it. And were is used with pronouns like we, you, and they, etc. And helping verb would be same here. First form plus ing. Examples: planning, seeing, visiting, crying, forgetting, etc. Now we can have a look at the sentence structure and the four styles of past continuous tense. So first, affirmative style. Students, remember this, that the difference between present continuous tense and past continuous tense is only shown by its helping verbs, like subject first in affirmative style, then in place of is, am, are, which are helping verbs of present continuous tense. In past continuous tense we have to use was and were. So first subject was and were, first form of the verb ing and object. Example: I was reading a book. Next, negative style, subject first, then was and were, then not, then first form of the verb, add ing in it, then object. So example would be, we were not cooking food. Now, interrogative style, where you ask question. So first was and were, then subject, then first form of the verb plus ing and object. So example can be, was she writing a letter? And the last style of this tense would be interrogative negative style. So first you will use was or were. Just check the subject first and then use. After that, subject, then not, then first form of the verb and object. Example: were they not going there? So these were four styles of past continuous tense. Now we will move forward to future continuous tense. So this is future continuous tense now, and some examples can be, I will be staying there until Sunday, or the postman will be coming soon. Now, let's discuss when should we use future continuous tense. The future continuous tense is a verb tense that indicates, that means that tells that something will occur in future and continue for an expected length of time. So that means it won't just go on during that certain length of time. Now, we will talk about helping verbs. In this tense, we have two helping verbs, but these became double now. Shall be and will be. Shall be is used only with the subjects like I and we pronouns, and will be is used with the rest of all subjects. That means except I and we, with all the subjects we use will be. And main verb would be same, first form of the verb plus ing. So now let's see the styles and the sentence structure according to styles. So in affirmative style, we have to use subject first, then shall be or will be according to the subject, then first form of the verb, add ing in it, and then object. Example can be I shall be reading a book. Now negative style and the other rest interrogative and interrogative negatives are little bit different from the others. Why? Because here we have two words in the helping verbs. So you can see first subject, then shall or will only. After that not and then be. So that means not will come in between shall or be or will or be. It would be like shall not be, will not be. So let's see the construction again. First subject, then shall or will, then not be, then first form of the verb and add ing and then object. So example can be we shall not be cooking food there. Now interrogative style. Now for interrogative style also, first we will use shall or will, then subject, then be, then first form of the verb, add ing in it and object. An example can be will she be writing a letter? Now interrogative negative style. So first we will use shall or will, then subject, then not be. After that first form of the verb, add ing and object. So example will be will they not be coming today? So dear students, just go through all these constructions, all these sentence structure. You would find similarities there and you just have to go by these to understand these rules. For the starting only, as later you would be acquainted with all these rules. So thank you very much and keep studying.